Look, I don't care who the IRS sends. I'm still not paying taxes. Oh, hello, everyone. It is I, Mace Palladino. Welcome to the very first episode of Up Late with Mace Redo. I am your host, Mace Palladino, and with me to the side here is the lovely, as ever, Varias.
Hi everyone, how are you?
We're trying this to see if I can have multiple VTubers in the same room at the same time, and we've had some minor problems.
Right. A couple of little hiccups here and there.
But yes, this is us, and and you've
That was
disappeared
not
again.
supposed to happen. Motherfucker. Alright, so hang on. You bastard.
Oh my god. I'll just be over here dying. I have no idea what the hell we're doing here, but I'm trying to actually run this show with
I'm
varied
apparently being an
success.
idiot. That's all. Yep.
With
Um,
varied success. Highly varied success.
there. Let's make sure that that kicks back over. If it doesn't, you know, but it
Oh.
should because this is yeah, you may have to refresh me.
No,
I apologize for that.
you're there now, dear. You're there.
Yeah, I had some initial derpiness a little bit with my camera there. And for future reference, Mac, that link will not change. So,
Mace.
Mace, Brain, hi. Sorry, I'm new here.
I don't know who this Mac person you speak of is, but he sounds like an idiot.
I'm not sure what to say to that, but okay.
Oh dear God. So I had all of these grandiose plans for how we were going to do this, and then none of them came to fruition because we started super late. Thank you, Alina, for pointing that out. But we're supposed to have fun here. It's supposed to be just us talking about issues and things, and me being rude to people for money, and playing games and having quasi-serious interviewers with adult entertainers, and
Hmm,
here we
right.
are.
So, indeed, here we are.
Yes. See, now your VTube avatar actually articulates properly. Mine is still a little wonky.
Yeah, I mean, I do have slightly. I think my other camera is slightly higher end than the capture of the body. It would be
Indeed.
nice though to eventually one day like upgrade to a different type of system. So this in the meantime. So for those of you who are looking for cheap VTuber solution, if you have a decent camera that can broadcast at least at 1280 by 720 or have a higher resolution than that, DSS body trackers software, which allows you to track the body, and it has VMC protocol, so you can feed that through to um, the program of your choice. Like I use VC Face, and I have Mace over as well. Um, I like it because it has built-in expression tracking, and it also has VMC protocol for both receiving and sending information. So if you want to link it out to something else, you still could.
We're still working on the whole hands don't twist at 360 degrees
Well, I
situation.
mean, well, unfortunately, because of the way 3D models work, oh, wow, hello. Can you actually lift my arm for a second? There we go. Give it a second. There we go. Okay, because of the way that 3D modeling works, unfortunately, you twist your wrist, and it does this thing where it wants to go this way and twist the wrist. You see how it folds it there? Because the mesh doesn't know how to rotate all the way to the middle of the arm. So what ends up happening is because of the bone structure, just the wrist. If I were to make it softer, what would happen is you go to lift and bend your wrist. If you were just to bend your wrist like this, it would cause the entire arm to like bend in a curve. And because it's not going to demonstrate, obviously, because I can't show you a demonstration. But the whole arm would basically become rubber.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've seen other VTubers like Fillion do it just fine, but she has a full body motion capture setup.
Right, there's that, but then, like I said, a lot of it has to do with how the weight. And since we're doing things very simply right now, that means that you know, I'm not spending hours and hours and days painstakingly crafting the weight paintings on them to make them a little more precise.
Well, if we tried to rely on my cell phone, we'd end up in the gutters.
Yeah, I actually do have the means to do the face tracking through through my phone, using a program called Meowface, which is actually kind of cool because I have that and my phone connects to my PC and routes that information over here to BC Face, and that way BC Face would be controlling the face through my phone and through its tracker, and then the body would be being tracked by the DSS tracker instead. But because I have a fairly decent camera that I'm using for my face capture, it actually does pretty solid. Like I can wing it if I want to. Oh, now we're gonna be pissy, you bitch.
Oh,
It was
dear God.
working just. I had it working. I had it all set, and I'm like, why? Why are we being dumb? I go through all of that, and I talk about that, and then it decides it's gonna be dumb.
Ugh.
It doesn't know what to do with my eyeballs now.
I turned on my monitoring station and it was at 360p, and I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? Do I not step on you when you ask me, computer? So, for those of you who are new here, of course, I am Mace Palladino, the creator of Ship in a Bottle and Peppermint Saga. No, I can't link them here, I'm afraid. Wednesday will be VTube and interview and gameplay shenanigans, and Friday will be art streams. I'll probably use my static avatar for that. I don't need to be using any more processing power.
There we go. I apparently also turned on auto blink accidentally when I was closing one of my menus. Now I can wink.
I will probably set
There
that
we
up
go.
I will probably set up chat abuse in the future, but for right now, I don't have it set up because I had to rebuild the computer
Right.
and set all of this up, and it took about 5 hours to do
To be
everything I
clear,
needed to.
he has all of the software to do this because I made sure he did because I have it too. I just don't have it set up right now. And obviously I'm not on my channel, so I can't really use his channel points to affect me. My wink threshold is a little funky here though. So instead of blinking every once in a while, it's actually winking when I.
Well, now my eyes are just closed.
There we go. That's much better. I needed to make a couple of small adjustments there. All better. But hi. Yeah. So yeah, there is actually a front end that I acquired, and I have not set mine up yet, but I do kind of intend to. It's called Vignon, and it has a full built-in front end for integration with Twitch and being able to torture me with channel point redeems. There's like feed or throw, or there's a bunch of other different things we can do there. And eventually, Mace will have these abilities as well.
Indeed.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I was overlooking or not thinking too much about. I also apparently accidentally paused playback on stream, so I didn't know what was happening for half a second there. Oh, that's why. Okay, never mind. I know why now. I have two windows going here with the video in. one that I can see where we're actually doing stuff, and one where apparently I had a derpy moment and was like, wait, why is the other one paused? Oh, because I popped out the video. Um, anyway, it is your show, Mace. So,
Yeah. Also, I don't think I can maintain. I don't think I can maintain the voice. I'm just
yep,
going to drop it right there, and just act a little differently.
okay. Well, I mean, if you can't maintain it, that's fine. Also, I
Well,
figured
it
out why
keeps
my other
devolving. It keeps
cameras.
devolving. It keeps devolving from, you know, swooshy to English.
Um, we might do that, which I've done before with others, but there was no full set plan other than I was basically I'm guesting to help him debut.
Right.
Um, that
But
was kind of the main thing right now. But yeah, I'm not online for this.
I wanted
It
to.
would be interesting to co-stream back and forth at the same time. But again, I didn't thinking about it. I didn't want to also tax his system that he just rebuilt right out of the gate by having him actually set up a video link, streaming everything back to me as well for his VTube avatar, on top of everything else that's already going on.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of an old computer, so
no bet.
trying to. There are a number of things in my throne that will facilitate an improved stream in the future. But for right now, unfortunately, it's what I've got.
Yeah. I mean, honestly though, it's not too terrible.
Oh, it's
It
not
was a
bad. It's just we didn't have enough time, and you have guests in town, and
right.
so
That was
as
kind
a
of
result, I was kind of winging it, um, and just hoping that I knew what to do. And then, of course, all of the settings, all of the stupid settings in these stupid capture programs were being stupid.
yeah.
What can I say? I'm more petulant than Mac. You know, the idiot.
So overdrive game. I'm testing a couple of things to kind of see what would happen if I were to tinker with this. But yeah, I don't know. Why. Basically, there was this whole thing about like being able to um, like boost the way that my mouth would respond to sounds. I'm like, I don't know if I would like that or not. But yeah, so I'm also kind of poking my nose at things simultaneously here. Um, and there was one of these things that I was playing with was like mouth size reduction. I'm like, is that a thing? That's not really. Yeah. So anyway, I think for the most part we're okay. Um, I do need to work on this because it's not quite sure whether I'm making the scary face or happy face, which because I haven't actually gone in and cleaned up this model in Blender and everything yet. This version of the model that I've done, I haven't cleaned it all up yet. So there's like extra additive weirdness that happens for like when I close my eyes and then I make an expression.
Hmm.
It kind of will overdo it and it will add things together. Like it will add my eyes being closed to another set of eyes being closed, so it will bury my eyes in my face. Sometimes it's a little hectic and tricky to get right. So, I mean, little bits and things. Hmm. Hmm. Anyways,
Right.
yeah, duo stream as it were.
You know, I had so many things planned for this stream, and I was going to do this and that and the other thing, and uh, part of the reason that I'm kind of dismayed right now and a little quiet is because of the fact that nothing, absolutely nothing that I planned actually functions.
That's kind of how it happens sometimes. But that's okay. At least we managed to get to this point, right?
Right. And then we started an hour late because of
I
all the
mean,
technical problems.
yeah, yeah. There were several small hiccups along the way.
I'm still working out exactly what I want this character to sound like.
That may take some time, and once we get there, I think it'll be kind of amazing. You know.
Right. Hmm. Not exactly. Like we this is literally not a sophisticated enough setup. Like if I tried to honker like this, it just it there's not enough range on the camera to actually reach over and grab her chest or something and get us banned from
Right.
Twitch. It's different layers. The technology's not there unless we were doing VR chat. If we were doing VR chat with motion capture rigs, then it would be different. Then we could interact with each other and push each other around and touch each other and do other things, but we're not doing that. And I have zero mastery of VR chat. I haven't really tried it out yet. This is literally just a browser source transmitting her image into my
Right.
stream.
Right. Yeah, and it's green screen so that we're actually in, occupying the same space. Unfortunately, because we're not in like a virtual space with both characters in that virtual space and broadcasting that, we can't directly interact.
The other issue we're running into,
However,
yeah, the other issue we're running into is that the tracking on these cameras, it seems to have a 50-degree range of field of vision. So anytime I reach up, oh, it
yeah,
actually put my hand where it is.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's interesting because if the hands go too low or too high, it kind of loses track of what's going on. Like it's losing track of one of my arms, but I know part of why. Um, you see the twitchy arm there. Right now my microphone is actually pulled forward, so my microphone is partially obscuring the field of view for that camera. So if I wind up doing something like that, thing, what winds up happening is that unfortunately, I give the angry look to you, Mace. Is unfortunately the camera needs to have a much wider field of view, and unfortunately, it does not, which does kind of suck a little bit. But
Maybe if
we
I
make do
sit
with
back
what
a
we
bit.
got.
If I sit back a bit,
I
then I'm not
mean,
close enough to the microphone. But
right, that's the trade-off.
my micro. See, and this is the problem. Those little tiny nub XLR cables you got me are not going to allow me to sit back.
Well, you said you only needed short cables initially.
Well,
I got a little closer to being able to do the
3 feet would have been nicer than 3 inches. That's what she said.
Jesus. Anyway,
What?
keep it in your pants. I'm talking about your tail.
Huh?
You said 3 feet as opposed to 3 inches. I say keep it in your pants, and I'm talking about your tail.
Right.
I love how I turn to the side and you immediately get angry face out of it. So I just look at you with disdain every time I look over at you.
Now it's not looking back.
I'm
looking
that's
directly
why.
at the camera, and it's looking
Right, and this is why I always keep VC face open. There is a reset position button on the screen. So anytime because it has this thing where it does fuck with it in drift. It's called model drift, which basically the camera is trying to work against the model, and you look far. No, what did you just do? What did you do?
I've teleported into another dimension.
Yes, but how did you manage that? What were you
I
doing?
literally just hit reset position.
That's odd. Like mine doesn't actually change anything else. I just that's weird that it kicked you forward into frame, and now you're just like staring up into the side.
It's comedy,
Like I'm too
folks.
good. You're like I'm too good for this.
It's comedy entertainment, folks. Yes, really.
Oh dear lord.
Working, working on resizing it.
And putting yourself back. Wow, you're still a little on the big side. Your ears are sticking out. Which is it gives it the weird. It's this weird 3D effect. No, I was gonna say that is actually kind of cool. It gives this kind of interesting 3D effect that you're behind the bottom like rung of the frame, but your ears are sticking out in front of it, like you're leaning slightly out of the frame. So that was kind of
Mm.
neat.
Yeah,
You do. You're just like
my frame is kind of ghetto. It's literally just painted in the background. I don't know how to make proper uh, Twitch overlays. It just doesn't know what to do with my left hand.
yeah, which is now reaching out of the frame and into the void.
It's putting it into the weeku range.
I mean, to be fair, it's still a learning experience. You know, getting used to what you can do on camera, and it will carry over to your avatar, and
In the
everything like that.
in the immortal words of Bill O'Reilly, fuck it, we're doing it live.
Right there, you go. I suppose that works for now. But yeah, that was kind of funny because every time you're looking up like that, you're just like. Now, I have everything set so I have a little less visual locomotion on my character, but I can my avatar, but I can actually change some things.
I'm just going to be staring aloofly into space. From now on, that's just the way it's going to be. Oh, now it picks me up. So yeah, this is great. I have to be at point blank range with my face, so it can't catch the rest of me.
Yeah. Mm, mm, mm,
Otherwise, it
mm,
makes me look
mm,
like I'm being
mm.
petulant.
Right. I was alternating my blinking there to be silly. Um,
It you can't
yeah,
you can't you can't slip things between the layers of a single image in OBS.
yeah,
Okay,
that's the issue.
I'd have to have more than one image layered in
That's
there.
why he said it was. That's why he said it was a bit ghetto.
Like, I have it in there as a PSD file, so I can make it dynamic. So I can change the title down below, and I can add things like you know, the logos of companies and things into that
Mm.
image, and then it will refresh as soon as I save it. But slipping our VTube avatars in between the layers of the PSD is not a thing that can be done.
There we go. That was the thing that I was trying to figure out.
Even if it's a layered PSD or a PNG, it treats it as a flat image.
Yeah.
So this will be a great dissertation on the trials and tribulations of attempting to become a VTuber.
No. Yeah, but no. I've actually when you import things into it, it has image, audio source, um, uh, GIF. It has its own thing for GIF. It does not support layered PSDs, and flat images are just flat images. Now, it does have its own layer structure, but you have to import two different images to create that structure.
Like
That's
for example, the microphone and chair on my side of things are completely separate image files on completely separate source layers in OBS. So if I move around, the microphone stays in front of me and the chair stays behind me. But they're completely separate image files.
there we go. I fixed it so I can actually lean forward in my chair if I want to.
but the frame around our display here is part of the background image. That's why I'm in front of it. So every once in a while, I peek outside the borders. I guess you could say we're breaking the fourth wall.
I have to be careful with this because if I go like this,
Okay.
and I can wiggle my eyebrows. But if I go too far up, I become scared. Oh my goodness! Oh no! Yeah.
I can't
See,
get it. God damn it. I didn't even touch it and the phone fell on the floor.
I don't know why. I fixed that, which means I was futzing with some of my own stuff so that I could get this situated so that I can forward like this. Be like, hi, what you doing? How are you? Hi there. I'm gonna do this and make sure that I'm in my position. Hey, that.
I don't know why it won't turn my
Yeah.
face back. There we go. No, and now I'm looking up again.
You can't be looking up at the button while you go to hit the button. That should be better. Once you hit the button while you're looking dead ahead, fine. I see you looking around.
There we go. Now it cooperated.
Yay. Okay, so
We hope.
Well, I mean that's always the goal, right? We hope. I broke my neck. I'm okay. I promise. It's just a stunt.
This is exactly like VR chat, only not as interactive. Everything I've seen on VR chat looks chaotic.
Like if I increase my movement range over here, like I can go over and be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, hey, hey."
So the other program that's tracking my body movements shows my shoulders and back moving.
I mean, it does something.
And it's not transferring it to OBS.
Okay, so if it's being dumb, one of the things that you can do is go in and basically change the camera settings to see if it can pick up the camera. Like I changed my body capture camera over to 1920 by 1080 to make sure it could capture that and send that over. That way, that camera is actually capturing at a slightly higher quality. I don't know if your camera can do that or not. You might want to not. But that also forces the camera to reset for a moment. I see you looking, leaning, and moving a little bit, but because I'm not seeing it real time, that is okay. So
yeah, it's not transmitting the data from this program
cleanly.
It's not doing it at all.
That's odd.
When I move side to side, it's just moving my head.
But your arms are still moving. So here's the deal. When we changed the movement range down there, we brought it really low. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Is it up high? Is it still low?
No, that's a different program. I'm talking about the program.
Well,
the program where I lean is the other program. That's DSS.
No, because we've set it up so that VC face tracks your body, your shoulder.
No, the way we originally set it up was that DSS was the one that tracked my body and uses.
It specifically tracks. The main thing we're getting from that is your hand and arm tracking.
Okay, but you did something on the settings on that program so that way
There are no settings. There are no settings over there to mess with over there. It's only in VC face that we have all of that control. So, like I said, on VC face, you got the movement range slider that's down on the bottom right there. Is it still set to the low end?
It's in the middle.
I slide it up to about 80%. And then go inside your general settings really quickly. And down at the very way bottom, down at the bottom, in all of the crimson text, there's a thing that's checked called avatar locomotion. Uncheck that because we're not walking anymore.
Oh, avatar locomotion is not checked.
Okay, we'll leave that be. Is keep hips mostly fixed still checked?
There's nothing checked in the red.
None of it?
None of it.
Okay. Now, so lean forward for a second. Okay, now see, it loses you a little bit there. But now like I'm watching you on camera, you're leaning forward physically in the chair.
I'm leaning 30 degrees to the right, and it's not tracking it at all.
Huh. There's one other thing here.
Like I have my left arm extended outward, and my right arm, I'm leaning on it, and it's not tracking my shoulder movement at all. There.
Well,
An hour later, it caught it.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily catch how to put your hands in front of your face because there are two things going on.
No, look at how I'm leaning now in the stream.
I see that.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, and it took a good 30 seconds for it to realize that I had moved.
That may have to do with the actual. So, did you update your body tracking camera? Make sure that it's behaving.
Did.
Did you see if it would do 1920 by 1080?
Well, I didn't try this one. Well, this one's already set to 19. You need to be specific about which program I'm looking in for body tracking. Am I VC face or is it DSS?
No, DSS body tracker. That's when whenever I talk about body tracking, I'm going to talk about that software.
Okay, that one's at 1920. The camera is not actually capable of doing that, but it didn't break it, so.
Okay, so it's trying. If the camera is not actually capable of that, you may want to wind it back.
720 is about the best it's going to do.
Okay, well, give that a shot, and then go ahead and stop and restart your thing for DSS tracker on the left side where it says stop camera. T-pose, and then you restart the camera, and that loads up the new setting. So, yeah, momentary T-pose, and then start again, and you should.
It shows me in the demo window for DSS, me leaning to one side. It does not translate there. See, it took it another 30 seconds for it to finally realize that I had moved.
Well, we also just stopped and restarted the send the camera information. So you got to keep that in mind.
This makes me angry.
I'm going to take a sec. Well, this is why I always try to remember to do things 15 to 20 minutes early. I know this took way longer because this is still a new setup for you.
Well, I tried to start on setting it up an hour earlier, but you yelled at me.
I said I was in the middle of something.
Correct, but I said we need more time to set this up because there's going to be problems.
That's why I was kind of, I was head scratchy about that because I was like, up until the point of there are problems, I figured you could get most of the way through.
No, that would be an erroneous assumption since I have literally never done this before.
Fair enough.
It's just a miscommunication, folks. It's okay. We're not actually mad at each other. I'm frustrated with the stream itself because it's not behaving the way I would like.
Right, it's being a little on the derpy side, but that's okay.
Ironically, when there was no textures on the model whatsoever, everything moved perfectly.
Right, because there was no texture data for it to have to interpolate. Now, in this case, unfortunately, with your model being fully textured, we have a combination of things because we have layers of textures that are overlapping. That's why part of it is a little. All right, here we go. I'm futzing with my hair again. All right.
Right.
But yeah.
So my frustration is not directed at Varius, it's directed at the technology failing around me at warp speed.
See, one of the things I would love as an ability would be to actually save my VC face settings and just send them to you. so that all of my settings would be available to you immediately, and you wouldn't have to fuss with and bother with trying to get everything else situated. Oh, hello. There might be a way to do that actually.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a settings INI file that basically has all of my information for all of my stuff. Some of it would change on your system, which is fine, but all of the relevant things for like the locomotion, movement, shifting, sliding, and then there's a couple of tiny things that you would tweak to your own taste. For example, like blink sensitivity, blink smoothing, blink threshold.
Blinky, blinky.
For Jacob. Thing. But yeah, being able to send this information to you might actually help you a bit, and have it just be right straight in your alley for doing anything. Because this would actually set all of the basic settings. Let's see. Now, what's great is if you wanted to, you can also set up like custom like moments. Like when I do the V2B thing when we're playing games, I'm on the game screen. I'm in the front, and because I'm in the front, one of the things that I can do is I can actually have a secondary camera thing set up where basically like the camera would zoom in on my face, inside VC face, and then have it reset, which would be kind of fun. I think being able to go da-da, zoom, zoom, and zoom in and out. And I feel like that was a really bizarre example of trying to gesture the zoom,
I need more space. I need more space on my desk to put the microphone and the cameras on the same side.
Fair enough. But being able to do that would be tons easier. Also, I don't know if you knew this or not. If you're using VC Face, you don't actually have to have your microphone and your chair in OBS, separate layers. You can load them as props to your VC Face scene. Yeah. I just thought you might want to know that. Less crap to have to move and manage.
Would have been nice to know about 98 minutes ago.
I mean, it might have also been nice to know when you were first setting everything up, but I didn't even think about that because we weren't really talking props at the time because we were trying to work out just getting it running, working smoothly. So,
You've fallen for the classic blunder. Only slightly less known is never get involved in a land war in Asia.
I can actually do like the like you want some start at you. I'm sorry, that was.
But
just
never
really
trust a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Exactly.
I'm not going to do the cackle.
No.
I feel like that would get us. I feel like that would get us a report from the neighbors.
Yeah, I love that I can kind of do that lean start thing and just whip my head at you, and it actually whips my head at you. I'm sorry, it's just really funny.
Shows what you know. I'll have you know this man is only mostly dead. You can never go wrong quoting The Princess Bride.
Fair. In most cases, I think you can't.
You need to loosen up more. This is what's making me... I was about to say it's making me stiff, but that would not be the right thing to say. But you need to loosen up more. It's making my performance static.
It's giving you performance anxiety.
It's giving me performance anxiety. How dare you? How dare you come into my stream and cause me to fail to perform? Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
That hand is just breaking out of the panel all over the place.
Right. You're breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, I do that every day, honey. She's not used to me talking to her that way. She's used to me being
No, I
oddly
mean,
reserved and prim and proper, except when I go too far with the joke.
really, it's one fucking hand. Why are you sticking both of my hands up here? It's fucking terrible.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one having V2 problems.
There you go. This fucking guy. That's what I've been trying to do this whole fucking time. That's what I've been trying to do this whole fucking time. Hmm. What's funny is I'm still using my old calibration setup from way back before my egg cracked. So a lot of these were calibrated and done when I still had facial hair, which is why they're a little derpy and they're not quite sure how to behave when I'm like laughing and smiling and going, "Ah, yay," because it doesn't know how to open my mouth that wide when I'm smiling.
I went to adjust my characters. I went to adjust my camera's position, and it looked like I was anointing you.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah,
dear.
so what's great about this is talking a little bit about just the VTubing thing in general is like the way that most pieces of software do this is they actually have what they do with the mouth movements and how they match speech things.
Mm-hmm.
It's built around the idea of my brain is dumb. Is around the whole of me talking and it recognizing word sounds and creating phonemes to go with them. But the expression tracking is its own entity. So it tracks all of the other facial features and puts the two things together. And that's why the custom, the trainable expression tracker is really cool, because you go through each of the different expressions you're going to work with, things like that, whether you want to add more, whatever. You basically teach it how to recognize when you are straight-faced, even when you're talking, when you're happy, and when you're talking and everything, and when you're angry, talking, everything like that. And and it starts moving your mouth around in that phrase. And it learns all of this so that as you're talking and moving around and doing things, it tries to understand how all of that works together. So it keeps the mouth form, like it was frowny or smiley, consistent with the rest of the expression that's going on while you're talking. It is pretty neat. Mac, you've become about as motionless as a statue over there. Are
Who's
you
this
okay?
Mac person again?
Mace. I'm having one of those moments. Dear Lord.
I'll just keep saying, "Who are you talking to, dear?"
I don't know. I think he might be in your closet.
Well, I used to broadcast a lot from the closet.
I remember those days.
Everybody's like, "I've just tuned into this stream and I have no idea what the hell is going on."
Right. No one knows what's happening, but that's okay.
I don't have any scripted material, so I'm just kind of winging it.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what we're both doing at the moment. 'Cause I really had no plan, so I don't know.
I was going to do a thing where I hooked up my Xbox 360 and we were going to play a game, and that didn't. And I was going to play the game and we were going to make funny commentary about it, but that didn't work out.
I mean, yeah, but that's okay.
Hmm.
We will get through all of this and sort it all out and everything. Yeah, I need to actually finish up this model so that she looks proper.
Indeed.
And has proper expression.
I'm trying to go for that sort of, that Vanderbilt New England accent, that faux New England accent. I can't do a
Fair enough.
transatlantic accent. That's just, that requires too much practice.
I suppose, but you know,
I suppose I might be more worried about your dimensional barriers if I hadn't brought along a chrysalis slipstream device. So long, Gilead! I do a pretty good impression of James.
hmm,
What, no reaction?
yeah, no, you'll have nothing and like it.
You'll have nothing and like it. Yeah, today's pretty much just antics and goofing around and being silly.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually got an
So
appropriate gesture by accident.
I mean, quote unquote.
The whole idea is that there's going to be more shenanigans. I'm probably going to have. I don't even know where to start. There's going to be games. There's going to be artwork. There's going to be femboy shenanigans. Just
Hmm,
transformation to my
yeah,
female form. The works. It's going to be all over the place. So be sure to follow. I'm sure you'll find something.
indeed. Um, I said I've bounced between on my channel between VTuber and cam, and cam streamer, depending on, I suppose, kind of a bit of the. Sometimes it depends on how well I feel that day. If I want to get all dressed up, if I just don't want to be on camera, and then you get this version.
Hmm.
But then sometimes I'm just like, I just want to be on camera. I feel pretty today. Like, there we go. I'm on camera. How are you?
Um, the sun, it's too bright.
I see that.
I'm on the veranda. We're on the veranda in Italy. As you can see, my office is a veranda in Italy.
Seriously?
I like how you look behind yourself.
I mean,
Like you
yeah,
could
and then I
actually
look
see
dead
it.
at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I look dead at you.
Yes, you look dead, all right.
I'm as pale as a ghost, so there's that.
Yes.
Why did you cheat?
I suspect that when I'm here by myself, I'll probably get into more lewd tuber antics.
Right, I'm sure you will. Um, just make sure to bring a bucket and a mop.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow, Varese.
you're welcome.
Just wow. Just wow. My hair. Anyway.
Look, here's the deal. Whether you like it or not, sometimes you're going to have to be dealing with buckets and stupidity and whatever. So,
See, I tried to turn to look at you and it didn't do it. Would it be this way?
see, that's the trade-off. Figure out which direction.
See,
And
this
we
has
got
no
everything's.
calibration whatsoever. We did it a few days ago, and now it's just like, oh, I want to go
Hmm.
stare at the sidebar.
Did we save the calibration?
I thought we did.
Then you probably need to load it. Because it didn't save any of your VC pace settings. We had to go in and that's with some of them. It was being a little derpy. But yeah. Anyway, like I can lean over and like I said, I'm gonna give you my eye on iPod after stream. That way
Okay.
you have something to work with here. It will be a little funky for a couple of things because it's got my camera and a couple of my background files in the INI file that will not exist for you. But all of the important settings will. So
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah, the tail that we created isn't really showing up either.
Yeah, because it's not tracking your movement as quickly. Oh, by the way, what is your movement smoothing slider set out in VC Face
Well, you just had me
on the
adjust it.
bottom. I had you adjust the movement range as well. I had you bring up the movement range with smoothing sitting
Oh,
at low end, high
it's
end.
set at 26%.
Okay, that's not too terrible. You may want to go back a little bit with it, just a smidge,
Lower?
because the higher the smoothing rate, what happens is it actually tries to smooth motion between things and it slows down its reaction time. So basically, instead of being able to do that at you, right, kind of jerk in your general direction. If it's much smoother, it will slow that all down incredibly. So, and then it will fight its medicine. For example, yeah, it didn't even bother to lean me forward. It just gave me an angry face. So yeah, that's I turned a little too. So it's one of those things where we find the balance between being able to snap movement
These are not the
and
droids
being
you're
able to
looking
have
for.
being able to being able to slowly do the thing.
It's 3 fingers now.
So
Come on, you can do it. Oh, sorry, we failed.
yeah, using out the droids for the. Of course, meanwhile, I put my hand in front of my face and I have like a head trip out because of what my face is.
Doing this whole reverse thing is causing a severe disconnect for me. I'm trying. It's like I have to tilt my head right,
To look to well
which
because
is
I'm
which
on
is
your right.
which is
Technically.
left screen right tilt.
Right. That's why I'm not actually looking at the OBS screen. I'm not looking at like a stream screen. What I do is I look at the VC face screen for this. If you're just doing VC, and then have the chat option behind. Makes life a little bit easier because then you're looking at yourself and it's a mirror action initially. Now I have everything set up so that I'm actually flipped for you. So when I look at you, I'm still, even though you're over my left shoulder, I'm looking to my right because where you're at in relation to me in the apartment.
Hmm.
Because, it takes a little bit of getting used to either way. Yeah, like I said, because I have everything set up, mirrored in OBS. And then I have things flipped 180 side of my in here. And if I need it to be, I have things flipped in, or yeah, horizontally, whatever, inside OBS so that I'm looking the direction I want to be.
Well, I know the next item I'll be adding to my throne, which is going to be a Logitech C920 camera
Nice. It's not a bad camera at all.
to replace the quick cam.
Yeah, which would save you a little bit of headache. Sure.
I have a C270, but it's pretty much the same resolution as this camera, so it's not going to do a hell of a lot better.
Right, but that's the trade-off there is not just that, it's also about like the light range of the camera sensor makes a huge difference as well. Like in my case, my body capture camera has a higher contrast ratio, which can be work against you, but I can go in if I wanted to and manually adjust it so that it actually has a slightly flatter image so that we're not losing details of dark shadows.
Hmm.
It was kind of a trial and error thing. You start tinkering with those settings. And you remember or note those settings and change the camera settings first and make sure they're loaded up or set the way you want them to be, and then move on. It always helps when the camera actually has external software.
Although I have to say, this is going a lot better than my first episode of Moonhawk Studios Presents back in the day.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Mac's first episode of Moonhawk Studios Presents.
There you go.
Back in 2009.
You do it too.
Who is this Mac person? He sounds like an idiot. Just like me.
Yeah, so one of the things you can do also is like if it's not catching your talking very well, I went ahead and turned my lip sync smoothing down, which is kind of nice because that gives me a bit more range visually of what my mouth is doing while I'm talking. However, it can lead to some weirdness where I'm just bouncing between mouth shapes instead of it actually looking like I'm talking. There's kind of this in between area that you got to find. Most of this is about finding the sweet spot with what you're working.
Every time you say mouth shapes, all I can think about is mouthfeel.
Mouth feel. Like
Say
there's
mouthfeel
mouth
one more time.
sensitivity. Like there's mouth sensitivity, and then there's mouth smoothing. Now, the smoother the mouth motion, of course, the more it blends the shapes together. Mouth sensitivity determines how quickly it decides and how much emphasis it puts on mouth movement while you're talking. See if I loosen my shoulders up a little bit. Yeah, that might. There we go. I had my shoulders like stiffness like turned way up. Body stiffness is another thing. There's a lot of neat little settings inside here, and it's still free software, so very helpful. Body stiffness, and what this does is this determines how much movement I can get away with here. Like I can't lean too far back because I have a chair back in my way, but like I can lean to the side, maybe the other side. I can kind of lean forward. So not too terrible.
It has no earthly idea what to do when I lean forward.
Yeah, I think because there's not enough detail in the outfit that you're actually wearing on camera for it to pick up properly, it may not know what to do as you lean forward because it loses track of what actually what, which is one of those kind of trade-offs. Now, neck stiffness. That way I can't lay my ear on my shoulder anymore, even though I can actually physically do that in real life. Let's go to right.
My neck is terribly stiff. What were you doing last night? Never you mind. All right, so we'll call this a test.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
The show aesthetic will improve as we go along, I'm sure.
Right.
And I'll find the place for what this character should actually sound like. And maybe if we have Varias on again, she'll actually remember to call me by the proper name.
Maybe.
See, we don't have the camera calibrated, so I can make that shit-eating grin that I'm actually making right now.
Right.
All right. Friday, I have plans to do another 2-hour plus hour art stream. We'll be drawing some peppermint from my series Peppermint Saga. Again, nothing that violates TOS. After I've done my preliminary art streams and proven that I can't... What the hell are you
doing? I'm drifting.
Apparently.
I'm sorry. I was doing that on purpose. I'm sorry.
But once
sorry, continue.
But once I gain some more mastery of this, we'll do some more looting and rooting, and try to make this thing more interesting. I do have the ASMR microphone in there for a reason. It is not an idle purchase. So make sure that you peruse the items in my throne panel down below really closely, because every one of them I consider to be essential to the success of this broadcast at some point down the line. And helping to mitigate the cost of that will make it so that I can spend more time actually scripting material and just making this smoother, so that way we don't have as much awkwardness and dead air. But, for a first broadcast, this was surprisingly not that awkward, especially since we had no topic and no idea what we were doing. We spent more time troubleshooting than sitting here geeking out about Star Trek Picard or something like that, just talking nerd stuff and then making it lewd and lascivious.
I mean, yeah.
That's kind of what I envisioned happening in reality, was that we would just geek out about stuff and talk about the news and then, put a lewd and rude spin on it.
I mean, I think this went pretty well overall.
Yeah, yeah. And it seems as though I've resolved some of my audio issues.
Yeah.
So there is that. Changing the graphics card did help the computer significantly. Going from one vastly more obsolete graphics card to a slightly less obsolete graphics card is helping. And I
Right.
need to get an adapter module so that way I can actually use the display port to output to HDMI, so I don't have to use the onboard video because I think that's bogging our performance just a little bit.
It might very well be. So you're gonna see something really funny in a second because I'm gonna stand up because I want to go smoke a cigarette. So bear with.
Getting that super costume together. All right, let's turn off our VTube avatar. All right, kiddies, it's just you and me. So be sure to join me on Friday for more art. We'll be drawing Peppermint from Peppermint Saga, and people can make commentary, and I will look into, shall we say, streamer abuse. Things like throwing cheese and fruit and uh, uh, scary sounds and whatnot, and see if we can make this a good time for all. Well, at least some of us. Until then, I'm your host, Mace Palladino. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Mwah.